Welcome back to The Great Expanse by JohnBab426 here on YouTube. It is always a pleasure to record these videos, to edit them, fine-tune them, put my unique spin on them. For your viewing pleasure, for your listening pleasure. And if you like the videos that you've seen thus far, hit the like button. Share these videos with other people that you know that like comic book related stuff as much as you do. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications. Which one? All. Not personalized or the one underneath, but all. So the next time a new video is dropped, you'll know about it second. I'll know about it first. See, I don't even focus on the bicep anymore. I look at the forearms. Yeah, I look like Popeye at this mother. So now you've clicked on the thumbnail. You already know what this video is about. James Gunn officially confirms the release window for his Batman movie. Now, in case you are a general audience and you just think, oh, Batman is Batman, is Batman is Batman. No, that is not true. Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is in the DC universe, is Matt Reeves' baby. Batman the Brave and the Bold is James Gunn's baby. So yes, we will be getting two different Bat franchises. Now, to me, I know the difference, but I'm not sure that the general audience would be able to recognize that, hey, is that Robert Pattinson? Or no, that's the yet to be uncast Batman from Batman the Brave and the Bold, which I've heard through word of mouth, through the grapevine. I don't know the grapevine is like that, but that the movie's going to focus on Damian Wayne, and Batman will be a supporting character. Now, I'm thinking maybe that's why it's called The Brave and the Bold instead of Batman, The Brave and the Bold. Because one thing James Gunn likes more than anything is an ensemble. Everything except for Booster Gold and Swamp Thing is an ensemble. We don't get Green Lantern. What are we getting? Lanterns, plural. Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, and Guy Gardner. We might see, what's his name? What's his name? Kilowog. Right, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. We might even see Kyle Rayner. We might even see Jessica Cruz. I would not mind seeing Jessica Cruz at all. But it's always an ensemble. Paradise Lost. Amazons, not Wonder Woman. Amazons. Brave and the Bold. Multiple. The Bat Family. The Authority. Ensemble. Now, I do believe Supergirl is probably the only solo title, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Superman in that movie. I'm pretty sure. Now, I understand Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo, which is going to be, praised by many people that thought he should have been Lobo in the first place. So that seems like it might be the only A-list character that gets their own sort of movie. But according to the sequel of Superman, Man of Tomorrow, according to James Gunn, that's going to be as much a Lex Luthor movie as it is a Superman movie, even though it's called Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Why not just call it Lex Luthor, Man of Steel? I have that comic book, or that graphic novel. So we see that everything is an ensemble of James Gunn. So I think that the tone of the Batman Part 2 and Batman Brave and the Bold will be polar opposites, because Batman focuses on Batman. Brave and the Bold will focus on the Bat Family, another ensemble. But having said that, the article reads, I believe I'm repeating it now, James Gunn officially confirms the release window for his Batman movie. The website is The Direct, and the author is Richard Niedens. Now, I know I've done articles by Richard Niedens before because I recognize the name. Okay, so at long last, DC fans have an idea of when the new DCU's first solo Batman movie may hit the big screen. No, there's not going to be a Batman solo movie. It's going to be The Brave and the Bold about the Bat Family. So Richard, you better get up on your stuff. James Gunn's first solo Batman movie in the DCU has a preliminary release window. While the DCU has a few early teases for the Caped Crusader, fans are still eager to find out when the character will be cast and when his first solo movie will soar into theaters. As that film pushes further into development under DC Studios, One of the biggest questions still lingering is when will it finally be ready for release? DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn gave a preliminary release window for The Brave and the Bold, the franchise's first Batman solo movie. Gunn is currently in the early stages of development on The Brave and the Bold, which will be the next solo film for the Caped Crusaders since 2022's The Batman. However, while this movie was announced as part of Gunn's original slate for Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, its debut timeframe was never set in stone. When James Gunn first announced his partial slate for Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, the only project that had an actual release date was Superman, and it was originally called Superman Legacy, and he pinpointed it July 11th, 2025, and it was released earlier this year, July 11th, 2025. So we want to know when exactly these projects are coming out, because guess what? If you don't have a release date, then you can just be fluid with it. It's like, well, I said we'll come out in 2029. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't say when. I gotcha. Like Shooter McGavin. Okay, so let's continue with the article. Speaking with Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Horowitz asked Gunn if he would release 2 Batman movies in the same year, as The Batman Part 2 was currently scheduled to arrive in October 2027. Gunn replied, probably not the same calendar year, no, seemingly indicating a later release date for The Brave and the Bold. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Richard, if you made this entire article talking about the window of release, and it's this vague sentence that I just read, shame on you. That's what's called clickbait. Don't disappoint me, Richard. More recently, @OliverDragged asked Gunn on Threads about a rumor that the film would not be released until 2030 or 2031. Gunn quickly replied to that post by saying no when asked if that rumor was true. Again, vague. While The Brave and the Bold has never had an official release time frame, it was the third movie announced in Gunn's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slate after Superman and Supergirl. Given the information the DC Studios co-CEO offered in the 2 aforementioned interviews, the expectation is that it may be ready to hit theaters in either 2028 or 2029. The more likely option is 2029, considering 2028 may be too close to October 2027 for 2 Batman movies to be released. The Brave and the Bold will be the new DC Universe's first solo Batman movie under DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it will be directed by The Flash's Andy Muschietti. The story will focus on the introduction of the Bat family ensemble, focusing on Bruce Wayne and his son, Damian, as their father-son relationship is explored for the first time on the big screen. While The Brave and the Bold is one of the DC Studios projects furthest along in development, the studio still has plenty of work to do before this outing is ready to share with the fandom. As of writing, Andy Muschietti is the only creative attached to the project, and a mystery writer is rumored to be taking a shot at the script. Why would it be a mystery writer? Like, I don't get that. A mystery writer? Some believe Gunn is close to casting Batman in this movie, as small bits of evidence point to 1923's Brandon Sklenar being the man to take on the Caped Crusader. Even if this is true, Gunn is left with the tall order of casting a young actor to play Robin, along with the massive supporting cast that every Batman movie boasts. Movies like Supergirl and Clayface confirmed to be released before The Brave and the Bold, Gunn still has plenty of time to develop his version of Gotham City for when Bruce Wayne and the Bat family jump into action. So we're getting Clayface, a villain of Batman in Gotham City, before Batman. So will we see a cameo of Batman or any of the other protectors of Gotham City in the Clayface movie? Or is Clayface going to do all this killing, all these stand-ins, because he's a shapeshifter, and nobody's going to be able to figure him out? That's why you gotta be very careful with villain movies. Even considering the struggles the Batman Part 2 is having with its own production and release, anticipation is high for that movie, and Gunn's first solo Batman film to give fans the Caped Crusader adventures that have been missing on the big screen for years. And that is the end of the article. It was a lengthy article. This told us nothing. This was just a spitball. It's going to be released in either 2028 or 2029, most likely 2029, so it doesn't release too close to the Batman Part 2. So this was clearly editorial, and there were so many articles talking about this. It's like, Batman fans are going to be chomping at the bit for any tidbit of information. So Gunn basically saying no to it coming out in 2030 or 2031. Is that the nugget of information we were looking for, Richard? No, it wasn't. The bottom line is, since The Brave and the Bold is not going to focus solely on Batman as the hero, it will not. I'm looking more forward to the Batman Part 2, because that is a Batman solo movie. There's no Robin that we know of. There's no extended Batman family. We just got Robert Pattinson's brooding Batman in a city that's equally not sulking, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not sulking. Skulking, I believe is the word. But it's equally morbid, it's equally depressing. So this Gotham City, Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' Gotham City, it creates such a contrast, you know what I mean, to a possible Robin actor. So that's when a writer really has to show his chops. Imagine Robert Pattinson's brooding Batman and equally brooding Bruce Wayne having to introduce the cheerful optimism of a Dick Grayson, of a younger actor in bright colors. Can you imagine how their chemistry on the silver screen is going to have to click? Now, see, that's getting me excited. Now, as far as Batman, well, not even called Batman, The Brave and the Bold, just called The Brave and the Bold. We're introducing all these characters at once. So we're not getting backstory on Dick Grayson. We're not getting backstory on Tim Drake. I don't think Stephanie Brown is going to be in it. We're getting Damian Wayne. We got to get our version of Bruce Wayne Batman. We're getting Damian Wayne. So who is all associated with Damian Wayne? Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, the League of Assassins. And of course, I want Ninja Man Bats. That's what I've been asking for years. So now you got to introduce all these principles into The Brave and the Bold. Now, will it be interesting? Okay. Am I going to see The Brave and the Bold? Obviously, yes. Obviously. But don't call it a Batman solo film, Richard, because it's not a solo film. It's a Batman family ensemble movie, which is right up James Gunn's alley. I'm pretty sure he's the one that came up with the synopsis of the movie, and he just hired the correct director to bring his vision, James Gunn's vision, to pass on the big screen. Now, which Bat family characters are you looking forward to the most in The Brave and the Bold? I'll say I'm looking more forward to Dick Grayson's Nightwing than I am Damian Wayne. I'm not crazy about Damian Wayne as a character. I love his backstory that, Batman and Talia, and they produced a child. This is the biological son of Bruce Wayne. That's awesome to me. Of course, Ra's al Ghul was one of my favorite Batman villains. He must be in it, because that's the only way you get Talia al Ghul. Talia and her father, Ra's. So this might have more Batman Begins vibes to it than actual, something original, because we were first introduced to the League of Shadows. They didn't say League of Assassins in Christopher Nolan trilogy. They called it the League of Shadows. So yes, it's intriguing, but to focus on Damian Wayne, I'm not intrigued by that at all. No, I would love to see Bruce Wayne's Batman and Dick Grayson's Nightwing, or even Dick Grayson's Robin first, to see them established, and then you introduce Damian Wayne as a supporting character, rather than Damian Wayne being the lead, with Batman being the supporting character. That works in comics. I don't know how it will work. I don't know how it will work in live action. All right, so those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts concerning this contrast of the Batman with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, and The Brave and the Bold with James Gunn, Andy Muschietti, and a whole cast of Bat family characters? Leave a comment, leave a dissertation if necessary. In other words, be as wordy as you need to be, and leave them in the comment section. Where's the comment section? Let's see. Thank you, Mr. Brent. Burnham Hawk's Finest, The Office UK. That's where you leave those comments and wordy dissertations. Do your part, I'll do my part, so The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 can and will expand. It's in the name.